I'll welcome Wayne McNee to the floor. Wayne, you'll have been introduced to Wayne yesterday. He chaired one of our sessions. He's the Executive Director of the Centre for Climate Action Joint Venture. He teased he was going to tell us all about it, so here's his chance. Thanks, Wayne.
Kia ora tātou. Yes, good to be back up here. So, yes, I'm the Executive Director of the CCAJV Limited, and we are the light blue bit in the presentation earlier from the Commissioner, so the light blue bit of increased spending from that earlier slide. I know some people in the audience are very happy to see that it was blue. And we're going to be growing carrots, a lot of carrots. So that's very much where our focus is. So as has been noted, we're a public-private joint venture. We're a limited liability company, and we are not a Crown company, a limited liability company, 50% owned by the Crown, 50% by our private sector shareholders. I'll cover that a little bit more later. And we are very focused on investment and effort tackling New Zealand's emissions, agricultural emissions, so focused on methane and nitrous oxide emissions, nothing else. Our role is to make sure that all farmers have access to the tools and technology to mitigate emissions that they will need, while also maintaining their efficiency and profitability. Now, I'm not going to read through this slide, you guys can read it, but the main thing I will emphasise here is this ambition was created by the chief executives of the 7 shareholders, that farmers will have equitable access to affordable, effective solutions and support a 30% reduction in emissions by 2030 and drive towards net zero by 2040. So it's quite a bit ahead of where the government's targets are. This is an ambition, but it certainly was led by the chief executives that this is where they wanted us to be aiming for. Also recognising the importance of intergenerational stewardship and kaitiakitanga of our land. And it is a challenge that is way too big for one individual organisation. So our shareholders came together to form the joint venture, but as been noted, we will need to partner, and we will partner with others, including NZACCC, other researchers in New Zealand, researchers internationally. We're 1 month old today, so we're in the process of building those relationships, but at the end I'll put up the information about how to contact us, and we would welcome that if you want to talk to us about work that's happening in other countries or in your businesses, then please get in touch. So we have a unique challenge and a unique opportunity, and others have covered this. Half of our emissions come from agriculture and 75% of our exports. So it's a very important part of our economy that we're working with here. And we have a chance to show global leadership in this area. Because we have a big challenge, we also have a big opportunity. And we can be very focused on emissions in the pastoral farming area where others may not be. So a lot of the solutions that we're seeing developed internationally are aimed for high input farming systems where animals are being fed continuously. Those will generally not work for us. So we need to either adapt those or find different types of solutions. Moving on, so it's already been said we have 7 shareholders, 6 private sector companies which are listed there, and the Crown, so the 6 companies own half and the Crown owns the other half. There is opportunity for more shareholders, so the Crown will match investment at a higher level than we have at the moment. So all of these companies are members of the Sustainable Business Council, which is part of Business New Zealand. That is how we got them together, to form the grouping, to go to government, to put the joint venture together. But you don't have to be a member of the Sustainable Business Council. If you want to focus in this area, then please come and talk to me, because there is opportunity for more shareholders. Together, though, we have a broad set of experience across the sector. We obviously represent all of sheep, beef, deer, dairy farming across our shareholders. And also they bring funding, but they also bring expertise. Some of them have been doing research already in this area. They bring some IP. And they also bring access, of course, to all of their farmer shareholders and customers. So when it comes to thinking about how we get these technologies when they're developed out to farmers, we think the shareholding is very important. The private sector represents about 70% of New Zealand's farms, and of course the Crown represents all of them. So we see ourselves as focusing across all areas. We're looking at de-risking delivery of the national targets by working together, having a bold ambition. And we've heard earlier from others that some of that is driven by the customer as well as the regulatory changes. Catalysing funding from existing investments, but also working with international funding partners and looking for opportunities to catalyse that funding, and making sure that the tools that are available to all farmers. So, what are we going to do? We're going to target the high impact opportunities in the short term. We're going to focus closer to market than the more pure research that others have done. We're going to build on that research and work with NZACCC and others to build on that, and PGGRC. But we're also going to look at technologies that are closer to the farmer in the short term. So we've got 4 years of funding. We expect to be at least a 10-year organisation. This is a long-term piece of work. So we are going to be working initially on close to farmer technologies, but over time looking at a different range of technologies. Making sure there's a strong pipeline, increasing testing capacity. So this has been an issue that's been raised consistently. We have, I think, 4 methane chambers, a few green feed devices around the country. We need more testing capacity. We need more capability. So Naomi talked about that, building capability, and to work with others who've got capacity offshore. So there's 3 bits to our organisation. We will be a total of 15 in the end. We're about 6 or 7 at the moment. I think we're adding people slowly. Catalyst, so this is system-wide funding, unblocking, deploying capital to address known gaps like I talked about before, capability and capacity, making sure that we've got researchers available and technology to work on. Ventures, so increasingly over time will become more of a ventures investment. So this is investing in companies to bring technologies to market. They may be domestic companies, they may be international companies, moving more into putting the capital in to help them bring their products to market. And last but not least, working across the system to help facilitate people through the regulatory process. And there are some challenges with the system the way it works now. It's quite complex, so helping people understand how to work with that system. Since I was Director General of MAF when DCD happened, I fully understand why we have a system like we have now, but we need to make sure that it is possible to get these technologies in the hand of farmers, and so we need to work with the system and help people understand it. And we have some resources to apply to that. So this is our structure. Again, you don't need to know much about this. The board's already been introduced. We'll have an investment subcommittee of the board, a CEO, a CFO, a COO, and we're already in place. Executive Director, they changed the language after this was written. And the 3 areas, so Catalyst, Ventures, and Strategy and Engagement. I have somebody running Ventures, I have somebody doing Strategy and Engagement. I'm looking for someone to do the Catalyst area, so if you know of anybody, get in touch. I've got a job description ready, and this is really important work. You already know that in the room. Looking to get the team up to our sort of 15 capacity as fast as we can. And I think they describe us as lean. BCG did the strategy, 15 people, but we're making sure we're spending the money on investing in the research and investing in the catalyst and investing in the ventures, not investing in the team. Need some. We want to be the partner of choice. So, the companies that have invested in us want us to come together and represent them when we're talking to all the different stakeholders and talking with the potential investments so that they can be directed towards us. There's a lot of competition in this area. It's good competition. We want more the merrier research around the world. The technologies, there's lots of people wanting to invest in them. So we need to have a reason why they would come to New Zealand and have a reason why they would come to what is a small pasture-based system. We want them to come here. We need to be attractive to them and make sure we're delivering outcomes for farmers in New Zealand, have a global lens and relevance, as I touched on earlier. So coming to the end, we were incorporated on the 17th of January. We stood up on the 1st of February. Our first board meeting was on the 8th. Our executive team, bar one, is in place. And we are working on our first investments. So we have 2 investments going to our board and investment committee in the next couple of weeks. The reason we're here, obviously, the Greenhouse Gas Research Centre is a key partner. We formed together the centre. We will be working very closely together. We're working on an MOU as to who does what, but really working together and making sure those issues around governance, not too complicated governance, doesn't get in the way. And last, this is who we are. So Sarah's in the room, the others are not, but we, as I say, just the catalyst role to fill. I'm assuming these slides will go out, but if not, you can take a photo of that. Please do get in touch with us. And the last thing I wanted to say is it's great to be monitored and reporting. We want to be about the doing, not the hui. So there'll have to be some hui, but lots of doing. So back to that earlier comment, really focusing on getting things done now. We've had a lot of investment already. You've seen the long pipeline of work. We now want to move to the next phase of getting the tools in the hands of farmers. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Wayne. Time for probably one question. Do we have anything from the floor? I can't see anything on my app, but I'm not sure if it's working. But
Completely clear. Okay, well, I'll be around, so if you want to talk to me, please do.
okay, thank you, Wayne.